We are in a time that, honestly, at this point, I don't think it's a dramatization to say we are at the same economic level that we were at in the Great Depression. The only reason people don't see that yet and feel it yet is because the soup lines haven't started. But there are food lines starting around the country. Real unemployment, which the unemployment number that the Bureau of Labor always puts out, is not the real unemployment level. The real unemployment level is usually higher. And although it said 14.7% unemployment last week, the real unemployment level is 24.9%. Let's just round it to 25%. The U.S. has lost 33.5 million jobs. So the Great Depression, unemployment was at 25%. And we're not even close to being out of this, so it's very likely that real unemployment surpasses the Great Depression's level. Not pretty soon, actually. I mean, the economic carnage is getting worse and worse and worse. So I bring all that up because both from a political point of view, but also from a just good government point of view, now would be the time for big thinking, wouldn't you think? Now would be the time to say, when America's in crisis, America has to do big things. Bernie Sanders, who, I don't think has organized like he should. I think he could have organized his mass army, particularly his email list and all that, for things like a rent strike and all that. But putting that aside, Bernie Sanders seems to get it. Bernie Sanders, alongside Kamala Harris, kind of a surprise, and Ed Markey, who's being challenged by the Kennedy spawn, Joe Kennedy, who tweeted out the other day, I covered it yesterday, no American should have to face a big bank trying to take their home without a lawyer, or medical bankruptcy without a lawyer. So he doesn't seem to think medical bankruptcy is a problem. He thinks facing medical bankruptcy without a lawyer is a problem. But I digress. So Bernie, Kamala, and Ed Markey, they have a simple proposition. $2,000 rebate program for every American, including children, until the COVID-19 pandemic has ended. I would argue, $2,000 is good for individuals, but I think it should be more for families with children. But this is a better start than what the crap that the Republicans and Democrats gave us, which most people haven't even gotten the crumbs of $1,200 yet, or the unemployment, since state unemployment offices have been overrun. So Bernie, Harris, and Markey putting forth $2,000 a month, no questions asked, for every American, including children, until COVID-19 has passed. The bill would grant married couples who file together $4,000 and $2,000 for each child up to 3. So I understated it. So if you're a married couple, $4,000, $2,000 per child. So that would give serious relief to American families right now, as the cases are still going up. I don't know, right before I went live, we were about to hit 80,000 deaths. All across the country, these crazy governors are reopening, even though in a lot of those states, the death counts are still very high. The case counts are still steady. 25% real unemployment. Bernie, Harris, and Ed Markey put forth this legislation that I agree with. I think it's a good start. I wish it was more than $2,000, which if you live in a major city, your rent for a studio could be more than $2,000. But it's a much better start than $1,200 one-time payment. Unemployment that you can't even get because the state offices are overrun. Right now, I'm going to get into the Democrats' proposal for the next bill, which is completely inadequate. So you would think that President Trump, who is behind in most of the polls, would, obviously to me, it's very clear this man doesn't have any real ideology other than Donald Trump. So you would think he would be seizing on the Bernie, Kamala, Ed Markey. I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris, but whatever. She's on the bill, so we'll give her credit for this. You think Trump would seize on this because he has shown that he has a penchant to move further left than the Democrats in the past. He out-lefted Hillary Clinton on a lot of things during the campaign. Did he mean any of it? Of course not. But rhetorically and marketing-wise, he went further left, and he talked further left than Hillary Clinton did on trade, on banking, and many other things. You would think that Trump, even if he doesn't mean it, would take any desperate measure to go further left than the Democrats, because right now, Joe Biden isn't offering anything, which I'm going to get to. He's not offering any actual relief as president. He's offering a lot of rhetoric and platitudes, but he's not offering concrete, bold things. He's not signed on to the Bernie, Kamala, Ed Markey bill of $2,000 a month for individuals, or $4,000 if you're a married couple, $2,000 extra per child. He's not supporting that I know of. I haven't read anything that he's the face of that and he would sign that as president. I also have not heard a word from Joe Biden other than we need to stop Trump from pillaging and ravaging Obamacare. Almost 25% real unemployment. Biden not offering anything. Here's what Trump and the Republicans are now proposing. You can't make this up. That's why I say we live in the United Corporations of America, and this is the economic Hunger Games. Trump may let workers take Social Security benefits early in exchange for reduced payments later. After a $2 trillion economic package, many Americans still want more financial relief from the government. You got to love this CNBC framing. Oh, they just want it. Not like they desperately need it. The Trump administration is reportedly considering letting workers take Social Security benefits early in exchange for lower payments later. Social Security advocates were quick to criticize the idea because it could create more harm than good. Make no mistake about it, this is a privatization. This is an effort on the road to privatization, which the Republicans have wanted for a very long time. And this is a rob Peter to pay Paul scam. Trump reportedly considering another way to get more money to struggling Americans by letting them take an advance on their Social Security benefits. Gee, I didn't hear this same thing when they gave $2 trillion, possibly $5 trillion in the bailout for corporations. I didn't hear them telling these corporate CEOs, well, instead of us giving you direct payment, we'll just let you take out of your Social Security, Medicare, and other funds. No. The working people of America, we can't just give you money. We don't do that as the United Corporations of America. We can't give you recurring and replenish you, Rashida Tlaib's idea of just give people a debit card and refill it every month until the pandemic is over. No, we can't do that. That would be too equitable, too humane, too proletariat. We can give unlimited money for the bankers, the fossil fuckers, Silicon Valley, big pharma, big real estate, all our donors, they get the refundable money. You give you $1,200. It might get to you in 4 to 6 months. We'll increase unemployment for a few months, but if you get it, you get it. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. All our state offices are, not really set up for this level of unemployment claims. They're all, very, very archaic with archaic systems. If you still can't pay your rent, feed your children, pay your mortgage, then, maybe we'll give you $5,000, but we won't give it to you. We'll rob your Social Security. So we'll let you survive now, but you 20 years from now, is really what they're talking about. The Trump administration is said to be considering prepaying Social Security retirement benefits to workers before they are eligible, according to the Washington Post. Generally, workers have to be at least 62 and have worked and paid into the system for at least 10 years. One proposal the White House is reportedly considering calls for letting Americans take up to $5,000 from Social Security now in exchange for delaying their benefits in the future. Oh, delaying their benefits. Social Security advocates fear this could be the beginning of efforts to curtail the program. Currently, about 45 million retired workers depend on Social Security, with average benefits totaling $1,503. In a statement, Richard Fiesta, ex-executive director of the Alliance for Retired Americans, slammed the proposal, asking working Americans to give up even a dime of their future Social Security benefits to survive today's economic crisis is a harebrained idea that would hurt families for decades to come. So, Trump, by the way, this isn't Trump's proposal. Obviously, this is straight out of the Ayn Rand, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, Republican Party, and they're just putting it on Trump's desk. And Trump goes along with a lot of these harebrained Republican schemes. As David Sirota pointed out, this is Trump proposing this, but Biden has advisors that are also proposing this same thing. What does this have to do with Democrat politics, he writes in his newsletter? Well, it turns out a lot, actually. Let me find it. Natasha Sarin countered with a research paper pushing an alternate idea, allowing workers to tap their Social Security wealth to finance consumption today. Instead of giving workers money in the same way the government is giving corporations trillions of dollars, or instead of vastly expanding unemployment benefits, Sarin and her cohorts want Americans to, quote, borrow against their retirement benefits, effectively turning Social Security into a reverse mortgage. This, they argue, quote, may well be superior to alternatives already legislated because it delivers relief to households that need it most. Echoing Biden's own own anti-deficit rhetoric when he pushed Social Security cuts, the researchers conclude, in exchange for a relatively small cut in scheduled benefits, the government can send sizable checks to most households in a fiscally neutral way. And what he's referring to, by the way, is Natasha Sarin is a researcher with University of Pennsylvania, and they proposed recently relaxing household liquidity constraints through Social Security, i.e. giving people money now by robbing them of their Social Security later. And Natasha Sarin, by the way, is a disciple of one Lawrence Summers, who is advising Joe Biden's campaign right now. Lawrence Summers, the same former Obama official, Bill Clinton Treasury Secretary, that gave us NAFTA and Glass-Steagall repeal and all those good things. Sarin interned at the Obama National Economic Council when it was run by Larry Summers, at the very time that administration considered proposals reportedly led by Biden to cut Social Security. Sarin remains a close ally of Summers. She recently co-authored a Washington Post op-ed with Summers that slammed the idea of a wealth tax. That's the same Summers now advising the Biden campaign. Additionally, the American Prospect reports that, quote, Summers not only plays a direct role in Biden's campaign, but has managed to insert close allies and protégés to argue against progressive policies, including his former student and frequent co-author, Natasha Sarin. So this Natasha Sarin, who is putting forth the same nonsense that Trump and the Republicans seem to think is a great idea, to rob you of your Social Security now, to basically steal from your Social Security now, under the guise of giving immediate relief, but to screw you later, which, by the way, any major change to Social Security Any major change to Social Security is just opening the door to privatization. That's what they're desperately trying to do. Open the door to privatization. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.